Good evening, guys. Hey, this is Jody doing another week for Cleveland Knights. This is for the gaming that took place the Tuesday before Thanksgiving up to 6 December, this last Tuesday, the 2016. As we last left our heroes on Earth 210, it's still real early in the morning of 9 March. Our heroes, for example, Alex's team, the Argonauts, made up of Hope Spaulding, Bruce Wayne, Monet St. Croix, Charles Xavier, David Analine, Tessa, and they have Monet's brother unconscious on board named Marius. They are currently arriving in Gotham, somewhere in the New York area, where that's where I put it anyways. And they have been in the process of settling for the night. Like Alex is thinking, where is it? I got to take all my people for the night, because he's got a lot of high schoolers on board. He has already dropped off Monet and Charles at her house in Monica, and that's where we start this evening off. They're doing that. Chris and his team, Chris, also known as Galaga, Chris Ritz, and his team called Stars, made up of, I do this every week, Kamala Khan, Clarice Ferguson, Mary Marvel, Wally West, Sam Alexander, Peter Parker. They also have Peter Parker's Aunt May on board, Marisa Tomei version, and unconscious on board are Barry Allen and Gwen Stacy, Spider-Gwen Stacy. They are over in New York City, and Chris is, as well as, thinking it's early in the morning. I got to get these kids home because they got to go to school tomorrow, or whatever they're doing with their life with their parents. So he goes about letting Kamala out there in New Jersey, and Wally runs home back in, where is he from? Keystone City, I think, Midway, one of the two. Anyway, Wally runs back. Sam Alexander and Mary Marvel fly across the country. Sam's idea is that he's going to fly Mary to Fawcett City, and then he'll fly down to Arizona, back to his hometown. And as that's going on, Christopher Lord and his team, Omega Dawn, are on his ship in Gotham, not far from where Alex is probably arriving to. And he's got Adriana Tomaz on board, as well as Megan Morse, Zatanna, Calvin Rankin, Sam Guthrie, and Alan Scott. They're discussing what to do next. A lot of them aren't young, except for Sam and Calvin. Most of them are adults, and he doesn't have to send them anywhere. They can stay on board or whatever. But the guys that are got to go to school the next day, they were trying to work that out. But Chris, back on his ship, realizes that gets a phone call from Wanda Magic. Wanda Magic is an entity that's been in my game for over 20, 30 years, since the 80s, 85, maybe 84. Anyways, Wanda Magic, she calls them up and is interested in making a deal, because Joel, Christopher Lord, and Chris are realizing that the ship is detecting a spaceship, maybe out here, orbiting the planet, and it's connected to Galactus. Yes, Galactus, eater of worlds, wants to eat on this world. This is a similar situation that had happened in Earth 10.3, and which started the first of It's going to be quick. I'll try to explain it really quick. Wanda Magic makes deals, and for you, a character, to pick a team of of 6 members, 3 men, 3 women, and she gives you a lightning ship. More explanation about that may be required, but and they adventure on a world where Marvel, DC, all the comics, TV shows, all those things exist, and it's kind of like our Alice in Wonderland sort of scenario where the characters get to enjoy all their favorite characters, and then they make teams. Anyway, when she makes this deal, she has another reason why she wants to make this deal. Is that there's this far off land called Clefland, and it is to be populated with the descendants of 12 teams. Currently on Clefland, as we've been talking about in previous weeks, 9 other teams have joined. Well, there's 3 here on 210, and she's about to send these guys off to what we're calling Black World. There's the other teams, the other 9 teams have gone off to Red World, Green World, and Blue World. Just generic names for the generic worlds that they live on for 20 years. And now that she's calling them up because she's expecting Joel or Alex or Chris to make a deal with her to go to Black World for a couple weeks. She tells them for a vacation. And it actually is just going to be a couple weeks for the 210 teams, but they get copied. And the other copy actually lives in that world for 20 years. And those will be, like before there were 10.3.2 teams, characters, the Earths that they're from. But these guys will be, we'll figure it out, Earth 210.2 teams that of the world where they go and they'll meet with others. But during the conversation, Chris and I'm not sure if it was Chris Ritz or Chris Lord, but they bring up the fact, hey, you're sending us there, and there's 7 of us, including the players, 7 people on each team, and can we do something about that? Because they've had the players have had downloads, and they kind of know what's happening in these other alternate worlds. So the players, Wanda comes up with the idea saying, I will allow you to pick females, because there are only a female down in each of these teams, because they're going to be spent off on a world far away with just each other. Couples happen. So for these descendants, she allows you to pick 1 female from the other 3 bad guy teams, which in that case, Darkseid has a team, Slade Wilson has a team, and so does Max Eisenhart. And I'm still not used to that name, but deal with me. And so she tells them what their teams are. Well, they actually had some of the information on their computers, but nonetheless. And to join on each of their clans, like on Alex chooses and allows, off of Slade Wilson's team, he had Mindy McCready, Pit Girl, on his team. So Alex picks Mindy up for his team to join in his clan, if you will, the Argonauts clan. Chris Ritz on his Stars clan team, if you will, he picks Gwen Stacy, which is Spider Gwen Stacy, and she was already on Darkseid's team. He had a couple months ago in this game. If I'd been doing this for years, you would have got to hear all that story. It was pretty cool how they saved her from being taken by Darkseid, but he already recruited her for his team. And Omega Dawn, with slim pickings left, went with, off of Darkseid, also had Big Barda on his, one of the females on his team, and he chose her. So she sends these teams in their ships, their lightning ships. She pulls everybody back, even though some of them were dropped off in different places. She pulls them all back onto his ships, leaving some of the captured people behind in this 210 as they all go to 210.2, and to Black World, which Black World turns out as they're coming up to it is just the asteroid with a Luna base, which we call Lunas. It's an asteroid base. Luna's bases have knowing devices, Fantasia devices, and all this shrine makeup. Well, they just lost theirs to Magneto, Max Eisenhardt, when he nuked the place. So they left, and now this world has one, and they're going to go live there for 20 years. But Wanda informs them it's going to take them about a day to get there, at least the whole night. So then they're going to stay on the ships for the night as they cruise there. Why? Because we just want some time of the before they jump onto this new station. Let give the time for the team to be around each other and even sleep, because they had been through this whole adventure all day. So it's going to be a good time for them to go to sleep. And the main Chris, Alex, and Christopher Lord have they tell their teams get some sleep and we'll meet up in the morning. And they're all on lightning ships, so the teams are having to deal with there's this 2 full bedrooms and 1 bunk room, and some of these people are going to have to sleep in the bunk room, as well as the player characters generally have one of the full bedrooms, and then they're going to sleep there. And basically what's going on is the players are finally being able to role play against these people, these characters from Marvel and DC and whatever, finally getting them, being able to play off of them, role play around them, and get to know their characters. And I'm playing for most of the NPCs, but some of Chris, Joel, who plays Christopher Lord, and Alex, they are also playing some of the NPCs to bring that more, bring in more gaming into the effort and to build more depth and diversity, if you will. All right, so that's part 1 of today's thing. I figured that both with the explanations of a lot of things that were going on, I had to make 2 videos, and because I've already got almost 13 minutes, it's not too bad. But the Clefland and stuff that was gamed later after Frank showed up, played Clefland, and I wanted a lot more time. So adios, and see you next week. Peace.